Today we are going to talk about excessive chatter, flooding, rumination, and difficulties falling asleep. I'm going to help you to connect the dots and see what these things have in common. I'm Esther Goldberg, a clinical and educational psychologist specializing in ADHD and personality, and in particular how ADHD shapes personality and how it can be misunderstood as difficulties in personality. I have developed a simple, fun language, the language of the champ, to help parents and teachers explain to children what it is they are experiencing. I have presented this model in previous videos, and I'll just sum it up today because this is the last of the series on hyperactivity. Remember, I said I don't know what is ADHD when people tell me they have ADHD, and I asked them to break it up and explain to me what it is exactly they are or want to talk about. Hyperactivity, too, is too general a term. I want to break it up. And I broke it up before into small bits for you. I said that everything happens at once, and there's no sense of time, or we tend to race and we get carried away, exaggerate. Or, for example, when we feel intuitively hypoactive, which is the opposite of hyperactive, we rev up and try to seek stimulation, sometimes by pestering. And we can channel this into a positive direction. Today, I want to continue to talk about hyperactivity and put four different applications together, help you to see what they have in common, and help you to see how simple it is, in fact, to help the children connect the dots and raise awareness. So in all four, excessive chatter, flooding, rumination, and difficulties falling asleep, everything seems to be happening at once, and we are continually thinking about one thing or doing one thing all the time. I'm about to describe this, but I want to make another point before that. ADHD is often misunderstood because we tend to interpret or we tend to judge instead of just seeing what it is. For example, flooding can be experienced as something very overwhelming and even anxiety. Other people might think, why is she so anxious all the time? Or why is he lost it? He's totally overwhelmed. Rumination, for example, we can go on and on and on and on with ADHD, and people are really fed up of us. But the flip side of this is fantastic because we do take deep dives and we reach solutions. I want to thank Dr. Ramani here, who talks a lot about narcissism, and I really recommend her hit YouTube channel on narcissism. She's the world expert. And she says in the rumination of narcissistic abuse, for example, or of trauma, we don't reach solutions. And when we don't reach solutions, then it's depression. So rumination can be seen as depression, but the rumination of ADHD is in fact thinking about the same thing again and again and again, taking deeper dives and coming to creative, neat solutions. These excessive chatter, for example, can be very entertaining, but it can also be so tiresome and exhausted. It can also be misinterpreted as unreliable and untrustworthy. And then people with ADHD feel so insulted because they really did not mean to be unreliable. Their apology is real, and we don't always accept it because we seem to think that they can't be relied on. But these are not persistent patterns from the past. This is just the inability to regulate our attention or our drive. And I ask you again and again, please always think when there is ADHD, first think about stop. First think about how you can regulate him to stop. help him to understand that he needs to stop and assess a situation and think of the consequences. Then, if that doesn't work, go deeper into personality issues. So I want to read a poem today from our book, My Mind Races, The Radio That Never Stops. It was originally written by Karen Zaguri Cohen in our book, published in Hebrew, and it has been translated into English by Barbara Sutnick. So here it is. It's 10 at night and I still cannot sleep. From tossing and turning, I just want to weep. I've been lying in bed for an hour or more, not counting one drink and then opening the door. I went to the bathroom and called out to Mum, then just counted sheep and tried to stay calm. My dog's fast asleep, curled up tight on my bed. Why must that be him and not me instead? My mother peeks in, sees the whites of my eyes. That's more than enough, straight to sleep now, she cries. Tomorrow I'll drag you a wreck out of bed for the same kind of morning that I've come to dread. Mom, please understand that try as I may, I can't switch off the broadcasts that in my heads play. They transmit without stopping, cannot be disarmed, both what makes me happy and things that alarm. So the mindful questions we can ask children in order to raise awareness would be such as, is it hard for you to fall asleep at night? When is it really difficult for you? What happens to your mind and your body when this happens? Whom does this bother? What happens the next morning? You're stopping and helping him to see the consequences. What helps you to quiet the radio down and then fall asleep? And now a little tip. Sometimes it seems to take forever, but don't worry, in the end you'll settle down. Help yourself to relax. Lower your activity level before bedtime. Turn off lights, take a warm bath, put on quiet music, etc., a massage, read a book, have a story. Mom, please help me to fall asleep. Thank you.